to liaise with the curators and librarians to establish collections. A large part of my job is to manage the workflow for the selective archive. So I use tools to set the parameters of the selective crawls and to do the quality assurance on the crawls. So the Web Curator tool was developed by the British Library and the National Library of New Zealand in 2007-2008. And it's designed to be a user-friendly interface for non-technical people such as myself, so for archivists and librarians, to curate the portions of the web that they want to harvest. So it envisages a workflow which is permissions-based. So this stems from the requirement for the British Library to seek permissions to archive selected websites. So this was in the days before we had the legal deposit legislation. So you can see what we're looking at here is the dashboard of the tool. So you can see that we have a harvest authorization section, and this is the section of the tool that deals with the permissions information. So the target, what we mean by a target is a section of the web that we want to harvest. So it's ordinarily it equates to a website, but it could be a section of the website, it could be a single document, so a single PDF, or it could be a subsection of a website. So the selections are passed into the Web Curator tool by a separate tool, which I can show you later, or perhaps I should talk about the selection tool. Now, the online web selection tool, this is a separate tool to the Web Curator tool. This was developed in-house by the British Library, and it enables our curators to search the database of all of the selected URLs or seeds that have been entered into the database already. So from here we can filter the database according to the title of the website, according to the selector, or according to the subject terms or the special collection. So we present the web selector with a form which we elicit certain information about the selection. So we require a URL or a starting seed. The selector creates a title. So this is normally taken from the web page to describe the resource for the users. We can link here to the live website by the meta tag links. And what you can see in the right hand side of the tool, this is going out to the live website, and it pulls in a meta description or meta keywords should it exist on the live website. So this is not automatically imported into the tool, but it can be used by the curator if they decide to describe a website. The curator can add a justification for this resource. So we require this website for a special collection. They can describe the website. They can check on the matches link to see if the particular URL has already been added to the tool. So on the right hand side here we can see that the URL youtube.com has exists in the tool already. So we can then tag this website with subject terms. So what we have here is a fixed list of subject terms that are exposed on the public interface, so a user can browse the website by subject terms. The website can also be tagged as belonging to a special collection. So the list that we've brought up here is a list of all of the thematic or events-based collections that have already been added to the tool. Contact information is required because we've been working to a permission-based model, so we're contacting website publishers for permission to archive their website. Okay, so the selection is submitted and it's picked up by somebody in the web archiving team, and a permission request is sent out to the website publisher. If we receive permission to archive the website, that information is fed back directly into the tool, and then the selection is marked in the approved state. This information is then fed back into the web curator tool, and a skeleton target record is created in the pending state. So as a web archivist, I can now go in and pick up this target record and set the parameters of the crawl. So starting seed is being entered. The way that the web curator tool is set up is the instruction to the crawler is to gather everything within this starting URL. So it will crawl all of the subdomains under this seed. It will also gather helper seeds, so any style sheets or images that are embedded on this web page but might be on different servers, so they might be on external servers, but they're considered integral to the website, are also gathered. I can set up the crawl parameters, so a base profile has been created, but I can then modify the robots policy, so I can choose to obey the robots.txt or to ignore it. There are lots of things within robots.txt files which are harmful to the crawler, which we don't want to visit. For example, CGI bins or areas of a website which might create a crawler trap, for example, an on-site calendar. But sometimes there are helpful things within that are excluded in a robot's file, for example, images or style sheets. So we can configure the robot's policy here. I can specify a minimum time to call the website, or maximum number of documents, or maximum size in terms of bytes. By default, we finish crawling a resource after we've reached 3 gigabytes of material, or we've reached 70,000 URLs. This is so that if a crawl is running overnight and nobody's monitoring it, if there's a crawler trap, this can be examined. And if a website is genuinely larger than 3 gigabytes or 70,000 URLs, we can take the limit off. So we can set a schedule, so we can choose to revisit this resource on a daily basis or a weekly basis. Our default schedule is to revisit websites on a 6 monthly basis because we figure that this is the best compromise between capturing the updates to the website and not overburdening our resources in terms of disk space or man hours for doing the quality assurance. The annotations, so we can create notes here. It might be technical notes about the website, or the history of this resource. We have the facility to add basic Dublin core terms here. We're not currently doing this at the moment because we don't have the resource to do it, but the facility is there. The groups function in Web Curator tool allows us to tag a resource with a collection or subject terms that are exposed on the public interface. So you can tag a resource with as many subject terms as you like. And I can choose whether to display this target publicly on our interface or to suppress it from public display. I can also create an introductory note for this resource, which is presented to the users of the website on the title entry page. So the target record has been created and a schedule assigned. The target, a target instance is a particular instance of the target. So this is an individual snapshot of the resource that's being crawled. So from the dashboard here, I can see that these are particular targets that are in the running state. I can see how long the target instance has been running for, how much data is being downloaded in terms of bytes, how many URLs have been downloaded. So this is useful for monitoring crawls. So I can see that this one at the top of the list here is really quite large. It's 6.5 gigabytes. So I want to have a closer look at this crawl and see if there's anything untowards happening. See the summary information here, so I can see that the crawl is running. I can see that there have been nearly 139,000 URLs downloaded, and I can see how many URLs are queued. So this is a very large website, so what I can do is view the crawl logs. So what I'm looking at here is the Heritrix crawl log. It looks rather dense, it looks complicated, but I can see a timestamp here on the left-hand side. I can see the server error code, so we can see that there are some 200, so some successful codes, but we have some 302 codes which want further investigating, so some redirects there. I can see the size of the resource that's being downloaded in terms of bytes, and I can view exactly what the resource is. So we've got some PDFs there, and just reading some of these URLs, it looks like we've got some redirects there. So this is something that I want to investigate. So from the dashboard, I can stop this crawl, or abort it, or pause it. So I'm just filtering the target instances now, so I have a report of all of the target instances that are in the harvested state. So this means that the instances have run and they're awaiting the quality assurance checks. So what we can see here from this screen represents the quite recent addition to the Web Curator tool. This is a new quality assurance model that we've had developed. And what I'm looking at here is a thumbnail of the harvested resource. So we're looking at the harvested copy of the resource in a browser. So I can see at a glance if the website looks okay, or if there are problems with the rendering of the website. I can see that there's a thumbnail here that's looking suspect because I have an error message there. We have a multi-select action functionality here on this menu, so I can perform bulk actions on harvested instances. So from a glance here, I can see what the harvested copy of the website looks like, and I can have a look at the harvest history of the resource, so I can compare previous harvested instances. So I can have a look, see if the size of the results is comparable, or it's returned roughly a comparable amount of data. New QA module is making QA recommendations. So the QA recommendations are based on the indices that we've put into the crawl. So we can say that if this second instance of a website differs by a certain percentage in terms of size from the previous gather, then the tool flags it as needing further investigation. Okay, that's better. So I have a harvested instance here that's been gathered previously. So I can see from this pop-up box that the target instance has been harvested 3 times. The first time it was harvested, it pulled in 640 megabytes, and it was archived. The second time it was gathered, it was much larger, and it was archived. And so the current harvested instance has also pulled in 1.84 gigabytes of material. So what we can also glean from this is we might want to reduce the frequency of revisiting this resource if it hasn't changed very much. So if it's continually pulling in the same amount of data or the same number of URLs, it might be that we're actually duplicating content. Okay, so if I want to investigate further, I've now drilled down into the particular target instance, and so I've got various tools from our quality assurance here. On the right hand side of the screen, I can see the target information, so I can see the profile summary. I can see that the target is on a half-yearly schedule. So I can perform actions from this screen which will roll up to the target level. So from here I can say reduce the frequency of the crawl, or I can alter the robots.txt policy, or add exclusion filters if the crawl has become stuck in a crawl trap, or it's gathering information that we don't need. So I can do all of that from this screen, which saves us a lot of time. It saves navigating to another tab to go back into the target record. So I can see here on the left-hand side a list of indicators here. So there are over 6,000 of long URIs. So we've specified that what we qualify as a long URI is 125 characters. So I can have a look and see what exactly this is, and if this is something that's problematic. I might want to set a exclusion filter, so I can see here that there's an I frame being picked up here. We got into seem to have got into search box there. There's an indication that there are 351 off-scope URIs. So the off-scope URIs are outside of the starting seed that we put in. So it could be that these are legitimate resources to help render the web page, such as images that are sitting on a different host. But it could be that they're resources that we don't want to gather from a policy point of view. For example, they're out of scope for us. So I can review the harvest in browser. So I'm looking at the way back here. So what I would do, particularly if it was the first time that the results had been harvested, I want to spend a little bit more time doing quality assurance. So we navigate the site and check that the menus are working, and that the images have been downloaded. I might also want to check from here that we're not going out of the archive. So this is good. This is correct behaviour here. I tried to follow a link out to Facebook, and I have an error message. So that's the correct behaviour. And I can also go to the live site and compare my harvested copy against the live site. I also want to look in a little bit more detail at the harvest history here, so I can see the previous patterns of this target. I also have the ability to view all of the files that have been harvested with this website in a tree view. So I can have a look at the hierarchical tree view here and see exactly how many resources have been downloaded for each subfolder, and I can have a look at URIs that have been out of scope of the starting seed, and have a look in a browser at exactly what they are. We can also use this as a pruning tool. So if, for example, there are resources that are out of scope, or for example the Chorus quality secure server, I can actually delete material from this harvest, so this won't be submitted to the archive. We also have the functionality to add a resource that we might need to render the website that hasn't been downloaded. So for example, there's a style sheet that's on a different domain. We can put in the path to that resource and upload it to the Gather from here. Okay, so I can endorse or reject this target instance, and I can enter a rejection reason here, so different technical, common technical issues that we have with crawling websites. The endorse function envisages a workflow where you might have a person who's qualified to do a basic level of quality assurance, but you perhaps want somebody more qualified to do a final level of quality assurance, so they would then be able to archive the resource. And from that point, the resource is then indexed and it's submitted to the public interface. So we're now on the public interface of the UK Web Archive, so we can have a look and see the subject terms. These are hierarchical subject terms. I can drill down here to the sub categories and browse the individual web resources that have been tagged with that term. You can also browse the archive by the special collection, so the events-based or thematic collections that the curators put together.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You can browse by website title, right? Like is it the title of the curator system or system?
That's right. Yes. So we do have a full text search, but if you were to select title as is selected at the moment, this browses the title as the curators entered it. So you can see that there might be a limitation in that there's been some editing has taken place of the resource. So our curators have created the title. It hasn't been pulled from the header tags of the website or anything like that. So it could be that our naming convention is different from another language naming convention. For example, we will append the or an to the end of a title, so that the user would have to anticipate that, they would have to know that. Any more questions?
Yes. Thank you very much for the presentation. It was very interesting to see this curator tool, because in Denmark, for instance, we should use another tool. So you can see this tool is coming from a research point of view. It lets you put more information into the system, and also has some filtering options, which would be very nice for us to have. So I'm curious. One question I would have is, can you search in the web curator tool? You showed a lot of filtering mechanisms, but you also search on that place.
Yes. So you can search in the web curator tool on targets. So we're in the target record here. So I can search by the ID, which is a system generated ID.
Yeah.
The name, this is the title of the resource.
So can you do a bypass search in the title? The name, sorry.
Yes.
So you can say, for instance, you have collection of art, so you can say art,
within the web curator tool, okay, we go into the groups tab, and I can this search here is only on the level of the group. So within the group, so now it drills down to within the group. I can see the members of the group, so we can see the targets that are members of this group.
Yeah.
The selection tool is perhaps more useful for searching within groups. As I can filter back to the same collection. So what we're looking at here is a list of all of the resources that have been selected by a curator for a collection. So we can see that we have 96 results, but I can filter the search by the status of the resource. So harvested means that the resource has been successfully archived, but this list also shows those resources that have been selected, but we haven't achieved permission to harvest them.
Another question, one of the views you have was info about showing something was archived and something was harvested. What is the difference between those two?
The harvested resource has been crawled, and it's in your inbox, awaiting the quality assurance. Once the resource is archived, and you might want to say a word about the technical process, what happens in the background if I hit the archive button on a target instance, and the indexing takes place, and the target instance is eventually passed into the digital writing system.
Yeah, okay, so
the sequence of the periodic tasks. One thing enters the archive state, it's moved somewhere to rename, and then other periodic jobs pick that up and then move it, reindex it, both things into full text and full access and CDX way back. Okay. Move the file to the right place, build read up the full CDX, and then make it available in that on a weekly basis. Yeah, in parallel with our access group, once the SIP, the package of the digital access group, and that's it.
all right.
Where does the virus check in selected job actually take place again? I think I suspect it's post. I think it's post. It sort of doesn't make sense.
Yeah, we'll do it. I also have one more question. I very much like the thumbnail generation being done. Is it? It looks like it's more of a rendering.
It's not a thumbnail. It's the page rendered in 100 pics.
It's not static.
Okay.
So you can actually navigate you can follow the links.
It's an iframe.
In
Real time scale.
It's really hard.
So yeah,
I mean, actually, I rely so much on that when I do QA.
Yeah.
I don't submit Nicholas. If I do QA, I'm not qualified to submit them. I post them and Nicholas pick them up, but I rely so much on that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a live page. You're looking at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, the live archive.
The live archive page. Okay.
Not the live page.
Okay.
That's really
Interesting. Yeah.
I guess in comparison, you guys, when you use the data kit, you don't, some of the descriptive metadata, I don't think it's supported. You probably put them in.
That's a problem when you, as a researcher, needs to access the material.
Yeah. I think there are two, I guess I can see two aspects. One is how you relate what you're interested in wiki to the website,
Yeah.
and how you pull the information together, bring them into one place. Another another, I guess, point is that when you don't have that sort of descriptive metadata, when it comes to providing access to the archive website, you probably can't offer any subject or descriptive metadata-based features.
Right, well, at the moment, like, I'll ask you. Do you think it's a thing that we could offer some filtering mechanism? Like this tool that gives you information at the conflict links.
I'm actually going to suggest something that you check with the Norwegian.
Yeah.
They were used web curator tool, but then they had a scalability problem.
Okay.
Now they actually script around H3 and to do whatever which you know is necessary. Which I suspect I should have checked with them.
They script a little bit in the hub.
Yeah, so that's
and
actually.
you described the problem in that they had some events that
I think that's the
WCT could not react quickly. You need to get it downloaded now. Like it's 50 links, I need to download it now.
Yeah.
We'll do the QA, we'll do everything else later, and this is kind of our, to be honest, we should put it into the problem. This is kind of our problem as well, is there'll be lots of stuff we have anyway, lots of stuff we need right now, and then you kind of need to annotate it and curate it a bit later, so we like the features.
Yeah.
But we need to kind of make them a little less, spread the linear workflow, we can get stuff quickly, and then do the QA and or do the metadata kind of categorization and or kind of then time independent where it changes it, which is.
So I think the Norwegian started to come into problems with their harvesting around the guy who shot people, and then they were running like 500 jobs or multiple jobs at the same time, and then WCT didn't cope. That's where they started to move away from WCT, and now they're just so they're not only making use of H3, which has better control features, but they're just scripting around whatever is not supported. I think I'm not sure. We need to check, but I think one of the things is to support the the descriptive metadata. That might be a better option. Going forward, Andy, I intend to get in touch with them and see what exactly they've done to sort of script the, whatever their additional things they've developed on top of parachutes. That would get around the upgrade problem as well. You guys have as well. This is 1.14.
Yeah, so the WCT tool is available to
It's open source. It's on SourceForge or on GitHub. We don't use this for broad
Because I think this was really why our developers developed the archive suite, because this doesn't.
So we use Heritrix directly 3 for our domain.
We have a selection. We also have a selection tool for the domain crawlers as well, which allows the curators to see if what resources have been picked up by the domain crawl, and it might be that they would want to archive that resource more frequently than the domain crawl, or in greater depth than the domain crawl does.
I mean, I guess it's fair to say that the set of tools Nicola just demonstrated are the ones we have used up to this point, and we probably will. I think we'll continue with these as they are. But with the domain crawl coming, there will be some changes, workflow change. The permission isn't no longer a sort of milestone in the workflow. So, like Andy said, some of the features which we like will probably be ported or somehow reused in the new tools.
Yeah.
And this is sort of a new selection tool, taking bits and bobs from WCT and SGT and they're running on top of H3. But it's not completed, and I messed up with my tokens. You took my token, and that's why the other day. So I don't think we can show you this yet.
I've just lost myself out.
Anyway, I guess it's approaching lunchtime as well. So if there are questions, you don't have to stay.
I mean, so structurally, I'm trying to change it into, you know, this is about annotated, it's basically a bookmark service, it's great. Right, the level text is bookmarks, and we let that big drive the kind of crawling, but then direct couple, crawling we continue without it, and so this. And then we need something else which lets you take, which would be here, which lets you QA that which we deem is worth trying to QA. That
And then there's a piece on permission when we stop.
oh yes.